Punish Dribblers, welcome back to Hello Sport University. Today we are discussing Wattage 101. Now, specifically, that is how a boxer's career, BC, is equal to wattage S, WS, wattage saturation. So in layman's terms, the success of a boxer's career directly correlates to the saturation of light within which they box under. Eddie, I'd ask for you to take us through it, and obviously I will add some colour where appropriate.
Absolutely, Tom. Look, it's basically a number, it's a metric that's long eluded boxers, promoters, and scientists alike. Tom and I have been in the lab, we've crunched the fucking numbers, and what we've discovered is a boxer's career is directly equal to wattage saturation. I'll give you an example. 60 watt down here are basically equivalent to the wattage pumped out by the headlights of your car. Down here, you're going to see dribblers, okay? Dribblers. Now, as you could note, Tom, do dribblers have great boxing careers?
They don't, Eddie, but if you are seeing people punch on under the lighting of a car, you would assume at this stage of their career, they are just dribblers. They're not professionals, they're nothing, they're dribblers punching on.
Yeah. Look, they may be destined for higher things, but at this point in time, still a dribbler.
Well, usually I'd say someone's disrespected someone's misso.
That's exactly right. Or someone stole their UDL.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Or their Jimmy White, whatever. 250. Now we're working up here to what I like to call a street lamp.
Yes.
A street lamp.
250 watts.
That's right. 250 watts are the best stuff. 250 watts. Here you'll find typically, Tom, a punter. Okay. Now slightly higher up in a career trage.
Trage being trajectory.
But still pretty fucking low.
Well, it's pretty low, and I guess the only real difference is that they gamble a little more, but, you know, there'd still be a lot of similar traits here. What we are going to see is that a dribbler can probably fight under a street light, under that 250 watts, but they're usually fighting a punter. There's no way you're seeing two dribblers punch on under street light.
Exactly. You can see a dribbler come up to the punter, up to the street light, and vice versa, a punter down to the headlight. You can see that.
But they're only fighting each other.
That's right. Now, as we move to 2,000 watts,
what are we seeing at 2,000 watts?
You see in a Macca's car park, okay? Right. Now, typically what you start to see here is people that may be destined for bigger things. The plumber, Tom.
Now, I mean, plumber is the, I guess the overarching term. Plumbers can be people who are just tradespeople in general, own a ute, store their tools on the back of it, tattoos up and down their body, but they are proficient in a trade.
That's right. Now, typically under Macca's wattage, okay, Macca's car park 2,000 watt wattage, the plumber typically scrapping with other plumbers because they got cut off in the drive-through, okay?
Or maybe they're sick of waiting for their breakfast. Or
they got one hash brown less than they should have, okay? So typically you'll see the plumber stinking around the 2,000 watt wattage metric. Now, Tom, if I can direct you across to 30,000 watts.
We're getting up there in watts. This is a huge jump, 28,000 wattage jump here.
This is where the RSL wattage comes into its own, okay? So now you've got your up and comer.
Oh, an up and comer. See, we haven't planned this. Now, the up and comer is someone who still identifies as a plumber boxer and not a boxer plumber.
Up and coming boxer.
Yes.
Now, what's interesting here, punters and dribblers, is that the boxer fighting under 30,000 watts at the RSL is starting to come into his own, and he's looking eyeballs up here towards glory. Now, for that to happen, if he is a plumber, he has to go into what we call a wattage cocoon.
A career wattage cocoon.
Now, what happens in the wattage cocoon, Tom?
Eddie, what happens in the career wattage cocoon is that a plumber, they go in a transitional phase where they go from plumber boxer. They actually dedicate a large portion of their time. They put the tools down. They emerge the boxer plumber.
That's right. This is where we see a Harry Garside emerge. Okay. Now, he has fought at Acer Arena, 100,000 watts.
The Olympics.
100,000 watts. If not a little higher, but generally 100,000 watts. He was once what, Tom? A plumber.
He was a plumber.
Who went into what, Tom?
A cocoon.
And he became what, Tom?
A boxer of note. A boxer of substance. A boxer the nation gets hard for.
Is this making sense,
Are
everyone?
you following?
Are you following? Now, Garside, again with the eyeballs, looking up here to 800,000 halogen watts.
Now,
Who
Eddie.
fights up here, Tom?
George Ferocious
Cambosos.
Cambosos.
This is the big time, baby. Big time. 800,000 of the very best watts. Probably halogen. Maybe not, but we prefer halogen.
Well, that's our preference, but we aren't married to it.
I think what I find interesting, more interesting than anything, if we take Harry Garside, he's not at 800,000 yet, but there is a chance in the future, and I believe you'll do this, he could have potentially fought from 60 watts all the way up to 800,000.
Yeah. Now, we aren't sure, Eddie, as I ask you just to get out of the way, we aren't sure that he ever, in fairness to Harry, fought at 60 watts or 250 watts. I assume maybe we got him in a Macca's car park, but again, he seems like such a good guy that there's every chance he hasn't. Tell you who's probably fought at a Macca's car park, Paul Gallen. Now, that could be wrong. I don't want to do or say anything that will get me sued, but I assume that Paul Gallen's thrown down in a Macca's car park at least once in his illustrious career. The shocking thing that we are realizing, despite the big time, where basically any previous plumbing career now forgotten, a plumber truthfully can fight anywhere from dribbler all the way up to boxer.
Which is an anomaly we've found in the workings. But at the end of the day, punters and dribblers, the theory, the equation is simple. A boxing career charge, okay, the higher you go, generally, the more wattage you've been saturated in. And that is Wattage 101.